I didn't sleep the next morning. When my shift ended, I went back to my small flat and sat on the bed for hours. My clothes still smelled of the warehouse, metal, dust, and that strange, sour odor near the lower wing. I took a shower, but the smell seemed to follow me in the steam. All day I felt like something was wrong with my reflection. Every time I looked at the mirror, my eyes seemed darker, as if I hadn't slept in days. I told myself it was only stress. I needed this job, so I had to go back. When the second night came, I felt heavy walking to the warehouse. The fog was back, thicker this time. The lamps outside looked weak inside the mist, like tired eyes watching me arrive. I signed in, wrote the time, and checked the cameras. Everything looked normal again. The sixth screen worked fine now. The lower wing looked locked. The door sealed tight. I felt a small sense of relief, even if I didn't trust what I saw. The hours passed slowly again. The same hum from the machines. The same flickering lights. But something was different. The air felt charged, like the whole building was waiting for something. At midnight, I started my round. I moved carefully through the halls, holding my flashlight tight. The beam of light cut through the dark like a thin blade. Dust floated in the air, twisting with every breath I took. My boots made soft echoes. When I passed the first corridor, I noticed the walls were wet. Drops of water ran down slowly, as if the walls themselves were sweating. I touched one. It was cold and sticky, not just water. I wiped my fingers on my jacket and tried not to think about it. The deeper I went, the quieter it became. Even the sound of the machines had stopped. That silence made me feel trapped inside something alive. The air was too still, too thick. I walked past the steel door of the lower wing. It was shut this time, bolts tight. But as I looked closer, I saw marks on the door. Long, thin scratches, running from top to bottom, like something had clawed at it. My heart began to pound again. I stepped back, shining the flashlight on the ground. The floor below the door was darker, stained, the same dark color I had seen on the camera before. I forced myself to keep walking. I didn't want to stop and think. Thinking made fear grow. Moving kept it small, at least for a while. When I reached the far corridor, I felt the cold air again. It touched the back of my neck, like breath. I turned fast, shining the light behind me. Nothing there. Only empty walls. But I felt it. Something had been close. I moved faster now, trying to finish my round. But the hallways seemed longer than before. Corners that should have led to storage rooms now stretched into endless tunnels. I told myself I was lost, that I took a wrong turn. But the floor, the lights, the smell, all of it was the same, repeating over and over. Then I heard it, a whisper. It came from behind the walls, soft and distant. I stopped breathing to listen. The sound was too faint to understand, like a voice trapped inside the pipes. It moved slowly through the building, like air crawling through the metal. I followed it without meaning to. My feet moved on their own. Every time I thought the whisper had stopped, it started again, just a little ahead of me. It wasn't words, just a breathy hum that rose and fell like someone trying to speak, but never forming the sound. I ended up near the old maintenance stairs. They went down into the basement, a place the map said was sealed years ago. The door was chained, but the chain looked new, as if someone had replaced it recently. The whisper came from beyond the door. I stood there, frozen, listening. The voice shifted tone, low, then high. then soft again. I could almost feel it behind the metal, pressing through. I stepped back slowly. Then the whisper stopped. The silence that followed was worse. It was thick and hollow, as if the whole world had been muted. My skin prickled. I turned around and started walking back. But the sound returned, not from the door this time, from above me. It moved through the ceiling, crawling along the pipes. I could hear it pass over my head, then down the next hallway. It was going toward the control room. I followed, half running now. When I reached the control room, the door was open, though I had left it shut. The screens glowed again, showing all corners of the building, all except the sixth one. That screen was white now, glowing too bright, like someone had shined a light straight into the camera. I stepped closer, squinting. Slowly, the brightness faded. What I saw next made my stomach twist. The camera now showed the control room itself, my own back, standing right there in front of the screens. For a moment, I didn't understand. I turned fast. No one was behind me, but the screen still showed someone there. My own shadow, standing a few steps away, facing me. I stared at the image, unable to breathe. Then the figure on the screen turned its head, slowly, but I hadn't moved. It looked straight at the camera. The lights in the control room flickered all at once. When they came back, the figure was gone. The screen showed only the empty room again. I backed away, shaking. My breath came in short bursts. My body felt weak, my knees soft. I wanted to run out, to leave the building and never come back. But my legs wouldn't listen. I looked at the clock. 2:43 a.m. Still hours until sunrise. I sat down, staring at the screens. I could feel the whisper again, now faint, like wind behind my ears. It said nothing clear, just a rhythm, soft pulse of sound that matched my heartbeat. At 4 a.m., the power blinked off completely. Total darkness. The emergency lights came on, dim red bulbs that painted the room in blood color. The whisper turned louder. I could hear it circling me, moving from corner to corner. Then I felt the air move behind me, slow and deep, like something huge breathing in the shadows. I closed my eyes and waited for it to pass, but it didn't. It only grew colder. The red lights flickered, and for a second, I saw something on the wall. Not a shadow, but a shape forming out of the air itself. It was tall and thin, bending slightly, as if it couldn't fit the room properly. It didn't have a face, only darkness where the head should be. When I opened my eyes again, the power came back. The red lights turned off. Everything looked normal again. The shape was gone. The screens were clear. But I could still feel it behind the glass of the monitor. Watching. Waiting. When morning finally came, I signed out without looking back. The fog outside looked even thicker than before. The rising sun was weak and pale. As I walked home, I could still hear the whisper, not loud, but inside me now, following. That was when I knew something had changed. The building had marked me somehow, and it wasn't done yet.